Welcome in, Giants fans, to the post-game wrap-up show on what is a 28-3 beatdown by the Philadelphia Eagles here in MetLife. New York Giants were hosting Saquon Barkley in his return game, and it went south quick. The Giants fall to 2-5 overall in the season, and they now drop 0-3 in the division. They've lost to everybody in the division. It's just been a nightmare season. I sat here as the game was unfolding. This game was one of those games where you're kind of checked out. You're checked out real early. Third quarter, you're just mentally gone. You know where this is going. And let's be honest, before we even get into that, Andrew Thomas. To set the tone for this game and the rest of the season, Andrew Thomas goes down for the rest of the year. And we knew going into this week that, your left tackle being gone. We knew from last year, whether it was Jones, whether it was Tyrod, whether it was DeVito, when this team does not have Andrew Thomas, they're just a different team. It's a nightmare. And Jones, as I said it on Twitter, I'll say it now. The guy is he's a mid-level quarterback. He's an average quarterback at best. And sometimes he's outright terrible. Sometimes he shows flashes of good, but no consistency in the middle. It's an obvious situation that this is not the quarterback for the future. This is not the guy that's going to be here next year. So here we are. We're out here now with the remainder of the season. We're only just finished 7 weeks of the season now. And you got a glimpse of what it's going to be like from here on out. Last year with the 80-some sacks, that's where they're going to be headed now. And what we had going into these few weeks here, we had competitive football. We had Giants football. We had a defense that was keeping this team in the game. And you saw none of that on display here. And yes, and no excuses. Don't get it twisted. Andrew Thomas is a major part of that offensive line. He's a major part. He is the offensive line, and he's a major part of the offense. But it's not an excuse. From top to bottom, Daniel Jones played terrible. The play calling was terrible. The wide receivers, I think, now lead the National Football League in drops. When you watch this offense, it's painful. It's absolutely painful to watch. You watch the same script every single week. Giants, in a game like today, getting behind early, they have to pass, but they have no left tackle. So Jones is just getting obliterated left and right. And of all things today, of all teams and of all games for the Giants to revert to this terrible, piss-poor offensive line in the absence of Taylor, here comes Saquon Barkley. Right on cue, right on time, and the Philadelphia Eagles. And it could not have been any scripted more. It couldn't have been any perfect of a storyline here. Saquon returns home. This is the franchise. This is the team that he carried on his back. This is the team that didn't want him. That's the storyline that he sells. Nobody ever mentions that he turned down the contract in 2022 in November. But it is what it is. They didn't offer him a deal. He comes here, he comes home, and he beats the shit out of you. He runs the ball down your throat. And it wasn't that he just had a monster day today. What do you have? He had 176 yards, a touchdown. But it was how he ran. He showed, hey, he still got speed. Multiple times he just went through Giants. He punished people. He embarrassed you. And as much as I want to, or other Giants fans want to act like, fuck Saquon Barkley, I said it, fuck Saquon Barkley. And in the confines of those 60 minutes from here on out, as long as you're an Eagle, it is fuck Saquon Barkley. But Saquon also isn't just any other Giant. This is a guy that was the face of this franchise. It's a guy that meant a lot to the community, meant a lot to the locker room. And there he is in the worst uniform possible and just running the ball down your goddamn throat over and over again. Big play after big play. Putting your shoulder in you, knocking people out. Is Dane Belton even alive? Embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. I'm sure John Mara somewhere up there today was absolutely livid. This was his worst case scenario. And it manifested today. I'm sure there's a lot of uncomfortable moments and passing each other in the halls today and this week from Joe Shane, Dable, and John Mara. And on the flip side of things, here you have Daniel Jones at home again. No offense when the Giants' offense is at home. 99 fucking yards. 99 yards passing from Daniel Jones today. 20 on the ground. 14 to 21. Just no life, no rhythm. You know, Dable didn't run the ball, it felt like, to the second half till things were out of control. After all these sacks, sack after sack. 8 sacks. The Giants allowed 8 sacks. They got 5 of their own. Who cares? Eagles ate them up, everything. Dominate them 20-10 in first downs. Domination. Rushing yards, 269 to the Giants, 76. 339 through the air to the Giants, 119 through 2 different quarterbacks. 5.2 yards a play for Philly, 2.2 for the Giants. It gets worse and worse. Time of possession, 10 minutes more for the Eagles. I mean, you name it. You name a statistic today, and they had it. And it wouldn't. You don't even have to look at stats. Your eyes don't lie. Your eyes don't lie. You know that the Giants are not in the caliber of the Philadelphia Eagles. We know where we're at. Look at the division. Look at the fucking standings. There we are. There's where we belong, in the bottom. That's the 2-5 Giants. That's the 0-3 Giants in the division. Look at the Commanders right now rolling over everybody. The Cowboys are terrible. They were begging the Giants to beat them. And we still couldn't do it. A monumentally frustrating team. We're off to a monumentally frustrating start again. We find new ways every year to be fucking terrible. This time it's a little tease. We're gonna give you a defense they're gonna hang into some games. We're gonna give you some pressure. We're gonna give you some sacks. But guess what? We're not gonna give you a fucking offense. Yeah, you got the best receiver in the draft, a generational talent. You're gonna piss that away this season too. There's no rah-rah. There's nothing positive to say right now. Nothing. Even like I said, even the pressures, even the sacks, the things that we've been hanging our hat on the last few weeks, who gives a shit? You give up big play after big play? You give up all those yards? Who cares if you sack Jalen Hurts? Who cares if you lead the NFL in sacks? It don't mean a damn thing. Because you lead your division in fucking losses. I keep trying to find a silver lining with this team. And in the last few weeks with the defense, you could justify some things, but it's everywhere. It's just everywhere. The coaching. I haven't been happy with Brian Dable in quite some time. This team never seems prepared. The problem is that there's so much other shit to criticize. The quarterback, number one. The writing on the wall feels like everything that has gone south so fast since that playoff win in 2022. You wonder how much longer does this regime get the keys to the castle. I don't want to reset. That's why that's why when 2022 happened, when it looked like Jones was going to be the guy, you pay the guy, and we didn't have to start over. That was the hope. You didn't have to start over. That he was serviceable enough that you could have the type of team around him, whether he's a game manager or not. The market said you had to pay him what you had to pay him. It is what it is. And as I said to you 2 years ago, he would look poor into comparison 2 years ago, and he does. So the hope was we get the guy, and then everything was set. We were a playoff team. There was a lot of promise there. We had the coach of the year in his rookie season. A lot of reasons to be optimistic about this team at that time and go where we were going. And then literally, last year, opening night, boom, one after another. One after another. The pieces that were holding this thing up and this mirage just melted down. And now we're standing here right now with still some of these pieces left, and it's clear as day. What's holding us back, but we don't know, are we going to have to hit a full reset again? Most time, unless you're lucky, a full reset in the National Football League takes about 5 years to get back to where you get to the promised land, at least being competitive on a consistent level in the playoff hunt. But now we have no idea where the direction is going to go. We have no idea. We have holes everywhere from top to bottom, from the leadership all the way down to the quarterback position. We have some nice pieces on the defense. We have some nice talent on some young talent, and with some nice veterans that we brought over, like Brian Burns, who's been worth every bit of the money that we paid him. We have pieces, but we're staring down some big time decisions coming up. I'm one of these Giants fans. I can speak for probably many people right now. I have reached the point I want to win. I don't give a shit anymore about how much money was paid at what position. You got to get your investment. It is what it is. This team needs to win. It doesn't matter at 2-5. At this point, you have to save the locker room, really. Dable has committed to Daniel Jones going forward. I don't care. It's irrelevant to me. I couldn't care less at this point who's under center. It doesn't matter. We're going to see the same thing every week. We know what Drew Lock is. We know what Daniel Jones is. If it was up to me, if you're going to make a change, you might as well throw Tommy in there. At least he's the youngest kid. At least he's the question mark. You don't know what you really got there. And he's fun to watch. And if we're going to go down swinging, give it to the fucking Rocky Balboa. I watch as Fox fades out the broadcast, and I see on the Jumbotron from MetLife, and it reads, "Thank you for attending today's game." And it's like, although I'm sitting here in my living room, in my man cave, it's like an extra knife to the side and twist it. Thank you. You paid all that hard-earned money. You kept your loyalty. You paid asinine money for parking, asinine money at the concession stands, hundreds of dollars in the gear that you're wearing right now. And thank you for watching yet another week of a fucking piss poor product that we're going to shove down your throats, and you're going to take it. We're going to take it. That's what we do, right? We're going to take it. Well, I'm sick of taking it. Over and over and over again. I sat in silence as the game was over. Couldn't even get up here. Couldn't even do the podcast because I'm sitting here in silence. In silence. That is what all of this will do to you. All of your fandom. And I am sitting in a man cave. No green screen. No green screen. A lifetime of work on these walls, a lifetime of Giants fandom, hand painted, blood, sweat, and tears, sitting in a cave dedicated to a franchise that has become an embarrassment. I make a reputation, and I am a glass half full guy. Every game, and including every fucking game left on this schedule, I will continue to think we're going to win because I'm a fucking idiot. That's what I do. I hype myself up. At this point, I have to hype myself up to get ready for these games. And I've said it over and over and over again. I give you hype videos when I am inspired. I give you hype videos when I believe that this team is worthy of believing in right now. And now we're at a crossroads. We're at a crossroads. We're the worst team in this division. We've been one of the worst teams in the National Football League for a long time. There's nothing left to ignore. We can't ignore the problems anymore. It's bigger than just the quarterback. So every Daniel Jones apologist, like myself, is going to get attacked. This is what happens. There's no bending the knee. It's not coming from me. Those of us wanted to be right simply because we didn't want this franchise to be set back 5 more years. It's not about this guy. It's not about Daniel Jones. It's the fucking logo. Get it? I have deleted and not posted things because sometimes it just wasn't positive and I couldn't be positive. I couldn't be negative. This time I'm letting it out and I'm exhaling. Saquon Barkley running the ball down the Giants' throat and the Giants sitting there and taking it up the ass from this division rival. Enough's enough. Enough's enough. We have to turn around now and we have to go to Pittsburgh in 8 days on Monday Night Football and play the Steelers. So whatever's left of this season and whatever's left of that locker room, any leader that's in that locker room, whether it's Brian Dable or whoever it is that wears pads, better step the fuck up. Because that's when you're in danger of losing everybody. And for those that want to be here, I don't care if you're a big star or not, if you got years left on your contract, now's where you prove your worth. Now is really where you prove your worth. It's real easy to collect a paycheck. It's real easy to get up when things are still going great. But now things are going real bad. So now we're going to see what you guys are really made of. There's a lot of guys out there that showed a lot of heart and effort today. But nobody deserves any credit. You're not the team you should be. You're not going where you should be. And it's been this way for too long to give anybody the benefit of the doubt. So here we are, 2-5. Terrible loss, 28-3. And now, Giants fans, we have to turn around real quick, eat this one, and suck it up because we have a lot of season left to go. I'm pissed today. My heart will be in it by Sunday. It is what it is. It is what it is. Until then, Giants fans, you know where to find me. YouTube and Facebook, Mr. Chuck Knoxx. Twitter, Instagram, @Chuck Knoxx. I'll be back this week. Until then, Giants fans, keep your head up.